Hello everyone, Victor Tanzig here, and welcome to the Reddit Railway. Today's destination is r/ProRevenge, so all aboard! Several years ago, my wife and I were looking for a daycare for our 2 kids. Our co-worker recommended one that her son goes to. It was located inside a woman's house. We toured the place and the lady who ran it, Monica, seemed nice enough. We also trusted our co-worker, so we signed our kids up. This would be a mistake. After that, things seemed off. We noticed Monica was a bit disorganized, but reckoned it was because she spent most of her energy on the kids. But over the following weeks, she started getting real cagey with us, like not letting us step inside the house when we picked up the kids. There was also zero support for our son, who was potty training at the time. Monica said it would bother the other parents if he had an accident, asserting he wasn't ready to be out of diapers. This was bullshit because he was very driven and interested. He had also made great progress every weekend with us at home. We asked our co-worker about it. She said that Monica has her good and bad aspects, but she really cares for the kids. We then came to learn they were close friends. Monica was probably manipulating our co-worker to get more business. My wife, ever the diligent investigator, starts to keep track of how many kids are at the daycare. She was able to do this as she would stop by at lunchtime to breastfeed our daughter. Monica was always nervous during feedings and insisted that it disrupted the kids' naps. This was also bullshit. Everyone slept fine and my daughter got fed with no issue. Monica had a helper who would watch the kids with her. I'll call her Sarah. By law, daycares have to maintain a ratio of kids to caretakers. It turned out that during the day, Monica would run errands out of the house, leaving Sarah all alone to watch the kids, sometimes for several hours at a time. This was a big no-no. We found out they had up to 13 kids, and you can't safely watch that many small children in a house with multiple rooms. We decided to call the authorities. An inspector carried out a surprise visit and found Sarah alone with 11 kids, 6 of them infants. The inspector also found several other violations that led to massive penalties. They didn't shut down the daycare, but Monica was ordered to get her child to caretaker ratio in order. This meant dropping a significant number of her kids, especially after Sarah quit. All of this has become public record. I decided to drop a Google review with a link to said record. We pulled our kids out of the daycare, as did most of the other parents. Fuck you, Monica. Agreed. How could you be so careless when it comes to watching children, especially when it's your job to do so? I'm just glad her negligence didn't lead to any of the kids getting hurt. I don't know why the authorities didn't just shut her down, but at least OP was able to cripple her business. With any luck, maybe she'll be forced to shut down herself. So my New Year's resolution for 2018 was to get in shape. I was never overweight, but growing up in Russia and spending my early adulthood there, I smoked like a chimney and my cardio was garbage. I decided to attend a spin class. I've ridden bikes my whole life, so I thought how hard can it be to ride a bike that doesn't go anywhere? My first day was a rude awakening. It was clear the class I was attending was an advanced one, where a majority of the attendees were very fit and part of the culture. It was obvious I couldn't keep up, but the instructor was really nice. He told me that since I'm new, I should ride up front so I can watch and copy him. It would also be easier for him to watch me and make sure I'm doing things right. Both he and the class were great, until I met Valerie and Boris. Valerie was very fit and obviously worked hard to look as good as she did. Boris was her male equivalent. They weren't a couple, but it was clear Boris had a thing for Valerie. She was aware of this, but didn't reciprocate. They were both about my age, but were a lot fitter than me, and they didn't let me forget it. They seemed offended I was riding up front. I can sort of see why. The front 2 rows were filled with the strongest, fittest people in the class. Most of them were very nice to me and didn't care that I rode up front, but Valerie and Boris would always shoot these sideward, disgusted glances at me. I'm not a confrontational person, so I didn't engage. I always got to class super early to adjust my bike. The gym has a first-come, first-served policy when it comes to choosing one of the 30 bikes available. A lot of other people showed up early too. Since they were less fit than the stars of the class who occupied the first few rows, they often settled for the back ones. I probably would have joined them if the instructor hadn't told me to sit up front so we could watch each other. Every time he came in, he would greet me enthusiastically and praise me for my commitment to fitness. this. It was little wonder his class was so popular. Everyone held him in high regard. In addition to giving the whole class words of encouragement, he also gave personal shout-outs to specific students. He would often say to me, "Great job there, OP, you're killing it." And every time he did, Boris and Valerie gave each other a look while shaking their heads. They usually showed up right when class was starting and the place was packed. Usually there would be a couple of spare bikes in the back or middle row, but these two were so entitled that two of the bikes up front were always reserved for them. I'd be up there with them since, like I said, I always got to the class early and had the right to sit where I wanted. Despite this, they always shook their heads at me like I had a lot of nerve being there. Since I always rode the same bike, I started to think maybe it had some significance to either one of them. After about a month of this crap, I decided to try and make peace with them. It didn't go well. Boris didn't give me a chance. I got the vibe he only hated me because Valerie did. I tried my luck with her by politely asking, "Was this your bike before? We can trade if you like." She rolls her eyes at me and gives Boris a look. They both smirk before she says, "You should sit in the back. We're motivating people up here and you're hogging the mirror space." The classroom has a wall-sized mirror up the front. I'm thinking, what the actual fuck? Are we still in high school? You've got to be 30 fucking years old and you're acting like this? And her argument is complete bull. We both have roughly the same physique, so I don't take up any more mirror space than she does. Even if I did, so what? We're adults. Or at least I am. I wish I had said all that out loud. Instead, I just put my head down and went on with the class. Over time, I became social media friends with a lot of the other students and the instructor. I don't post much, just the occasional photo. One of these, I was admittedly begging for approval because I was proud of my developing abs. The spin instructor himself commented how proud he was of me. Valerie and Boris liked his comment, but not my post. I'm guessing they were just kissing his ass. Obviously, I didn't follow either of them, but after they liked the instructor's comment, I got curious and clicked on their names. To my non-surprise, they both practically lived on social media. They took endless selfies showing off their bodies and humble bragged constantly. They also made no secret of who their employers were. Valerie tried to claim she was a model, even though it was clear her only real job was being a sales rep for a beauty brand. Valerie was only a model in the take a picture of yourself in front of the bathroom mirror sense. I guess that makes me a model too? These two were such idiots and posted really dumb things on each other's walls. It seemed like the majority of their lives were spent trash-talking other people. I saw one exchange where they were clearly talking about me. They used my name. They said I was ugly and a wannabe. They called me skinny fat and some other horrible shit. I wasn't the only one. They badmouthed just about everyone in the class. I don't like to start drama, but I also don't like being bullied. I screen captured a lot of their comments and then made a dummy Facebook account. I fired off these screenshots to the owner and manager of the gym. I let them know what these two cretins were up to. I was also nice enough to send the appropriate images to the specific people Valerie and Boris named. In less than a week, they were gone. Both had their memberships revoked and were banned from the gym. Several of the people Valerie insulted sent emails to her employer about what a hateful, body-shaming person she was and how such a person should not be any kind of brand ambassador. She was soon fired. Don't worry, Valerie. You can continue your modeling career by taking selfies in your panties next to your toilet. Boris also suffered severe humiliation. He had bragged to Valerie about being able to kick anyone's ass in the class. Some of the buffer dudes offered to let him try this. Anytime, anywhere. Needless to say, he never took them up on their offer. Oh, and it gets better. Boris ran an unlicensed personal training business. Several of the men in the class who had legit training certificates shut him down real quick. Don't worry, Boris. There's always Starbucks. I honestly hope they grow up. I also low-key hope they marry because they deserve each other. I also hope they don't breed because that much narcissism from two parents would result in a kid with a lot of issues. You're certainly right about that, which is why I hope they don't breed. They sound like absolute mongrels. They're also idiots. How stupid do you have to be publicly trash-talk someone on social media? Maybe it's a good thing they did. It made it easier for OP to get rid of them. So well done there. And well done for developing abs. All I have is a gut. Bloody fruit mince pies. And with that, I'll end the video here. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.